Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2017 Sedona International Film Festival. I'm Tanya June Moore, live at the Sedona Rouge, and I have maybe the consummate indie film in my seat right now, and it's very exciting to have them here. So introduce yourselves and the title of your film, please.
I'm Zelda.
I'm Toby Poser, and our film is Halfway to ZEN.
It's well done. It's a family project. Let's talk about how you got an entire family involved in filmmaking and then have created something really cool and unique.
Well, thank you. This is our fourth time to the rodeo. It's our fourth feature. And we started in 2010 kind of on a fluke. We took off for a year and decided to ride around the United States in an RV and learn the ropes of filmmaking. It was an incredible experience, and we sort of snagged onto that idea and just ran with it. This is our fourth feature, and usually we have a fourth with us. It's John and I and Zelda, and we have an older girl, Lulu, who's now a freshman in college, so we're a power trio now. But we were a crew of four for this film.
So you wrote it, you produced it, you directed it, you shot it, all as a family.
Yes.
And where did this idea come from?
John Adams, my husband, he had the idea of this kind of broken family unit coming back together. That was the spark, and usually how we work, we have an idea and it kind of unravels or comes together more, like as we work. Mm-hmm. This was actually the most cohesive script so far. Usually there's a lot of figuring it out along the way. This one pretty much came together quickly.
Mm-hmm. And Zelda, you play a quite interesting character in this, and you really embodied Edie Eddie. What did it come naturally to you, or did you practice with this, or where did the inspiration come for her?
Well, we come from a really kind of hippie town where everybody's just themselves, and I have two friends there that are transgender, so I hang out with them like every day, so it really like rubbed off onto me. Mm-hmm. And like they're really brave, so I like playing that part because then I could feel brave about playing a person like that.
And I think that's an important theme in today.
Yeah.
And showing a different side of that from a very young person's point of view. And was it written for that reason? Was her role written into this as, I'm really a boy, I really want to be a boy? Was that written in because of what's going on in today's? Was it a theme that you wanted to express?
It actually, we wrote this character before that issue really came to light. This was a few years ago now that we really wrote the film, and then it just sort of like bang was out there, and including last night. Now it will be really in the light again. Mm-hmm. So, but really it was just kind of came.
It was very
part
organic.
of our lives and something we noticed and admired and fell into place like that.
And you have another whole theme going on with the lesbian relationship between the mom and her partner. And how did you cast her? Is she a friend of yours? Or?
Yes, she Claire is a French woman from Topanga, California, where we were living. She's actually going to be here today for our second screening, which is cool. She acted in her 20s and now runs a really great local restaurant cafe in Topanga Canyon, California. And she was in our third film and she knocked us out. She was so good, and we said, well, you're coming back. Right. And
and she's a really good character. I mean, what a brave character to play. I mean, at the end of it, I don't want to give it away, but she's really brave to go and reach out to this father of this, and I think that is a really poignant scene at the beginning of the movie. Did she just take that and run with it? Because she's really intense when she's selling this idea.
Yeah, she's just an intelligent performer, and I think her character loves my character Vic and knows that to have any kind of future with her. When we introduce her, she says, "I'm your ex-wife's wife." Well, we're not yet. It's not legit yet. I think she knows that to have any kind of future, she's got to crack whatever is left between this history between Nick's character, the father of Eddie, and my character. And so it ends up being a beautiful gift that she gives them, but one that's eventually painful for her. Yeah.
And you are now in the Sedona International Film Festival with this amazing indie film. What does it mean? What was it like getting the, yep, you're in, come on?
I'll tell you that you guys are the ultimate. I mean, this festival has been so generous, and even though you're celebrating the filmmaker, I mean, I don't think we've ever been so spoiled and felt so honored. I have to say, this community deserves so much praise too. The first screening we had was such an intuitive audience, so generous with their feedback, their support. So I have to say, and just this town in general, what wonderful people.
Thank you.
I mean, really, they couldn't absorb a film better than they do.
Yeah, they're all kind and welcoming, and they really know what an indie film is. Yeah.
And how are you feeling here with all of this paparazzi and fun, and what's it feel like for you as a young woman?
Well, I like it. It's really fun to know that like everybody's supporting like the indie people and not like total Hollywood, you know. And it's really fun to be here because everybody's so welcoming, and I really like it.
Right. So I know we want to bring your husband on. I want to see if they have questions. No, just wait. I want to see if anybody out here has questions before we bring him on for, whoever's, I'm not sure who's stepping away. Is there a question?
We can do-si-do.
You can do-si-do. David.
What's it like being directed by your parents? Is it easy, or is it something that silently grates you, but you wouldn't say anything?
Well, it's easier that we're a family, because I think if I was with somebody I didn't know, I might get embarrassed. But with my parents, it'll be like, okay, because sometimes I'll direct them too, and I understand it, and I'm happy to be working with them. Even though sometimes I'll get mad, I'll be like, I thought I was doing well, but I wasn't. So,
actually,
like
Zelda's the one taker. She gets it right the first time, and we're like, sorry, Zelda, I think the rest of us have to do it again.
We have to catch up. Is there any other questions for now? And I want to save some questions for John, but I did want to ask, where you shot this film is it's got some really beautiful scenes. It has some really old architecture involved. Where was this filmed?
Well, we have now moved back to the Catskills, upstate New York, and we shot most of it there in Sullivan County, where we're from. But we also, since we had been living in California too, there was a lot of driving, crisscrossing the country over the summers and holidays. So John, a lot of the shots John took, especially of the trains, on his trip back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
so it was movie magic.
It really wasn't an amalgamation of lots of different cities, but really what we were going for were the towns with beautiful cracked sidewalks, and just there's something beautiful about a town that's been around a while and has wrinkles.
Yes, I agree. Do we want to switch out now?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Watch your head. All right. So we're gonna bring John into the shot here, and we have so he's the father in the movie, and the first question I'm going to throw you is, where did you find the guy with the hole in his head?
The guy with the hole in his head is Robert Lund, and he's an amazing friend of mine that I met. I've been in bands for many years, and I was in a punk party band called Banana Fish Zero, and one day I was on that stage and I looked out and there was a man with a hole in his head, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
and we became friends, and he's a great character. And I wanted to make a movie with him even before we made movies. It's funny, just because, you mentioned it, it's your first question. And he acted in our second movie, just a small part, and he was terrific. And from that seed was planted where, somehow I want to do something big with Robert, and I thought about it, and finally this kind of came together, and he was the perfect man for the job. And I asked him if he wanted to, commit to that, because he had to come up to the Catskills and hang out in a cheap hotel, and he said I would love to. And he worked so hard, wasn't he? I mean, he was so kind and generous with his time and with his acting and with his thoughts.
Well, and he seemed very dedicated.
Absolutely.
And I would totally believe that he was that character. And to find someone who doesn't have any of that background to step in and play such, I mean, it's just a tough role. This is not, cotton candy. I mean, that's got some meat to it. And I mean, how did you, as a director, pull that out of him?
Well, he had said that his dad went through it. So he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to be playing my dad. And so I think there was a couple times where he had a little bit of a tough time, because I think he connected a little too hard. Remember when sometimes Robert was like, oh my God, I can't believe what's happening here. He asked a lot of questions. He was just really kind in the way he acted, because he let us draw out what we needed to, and he was just generous with being that man. And he was generous too. He worked, a lot of scenes were with Zelda. And I'm not sure, sometimes I'm not sure Robert, I think the scenes made him very uncomfortable. They're really uncomfortable. And I think he had to, overcome that uncomfortableness, and he delivered. And you and him had such great chemistry, And then we'd cut and we'd all go get cheeseburgers.
Right.
And he'd be Robert.
Right.
It was great.
And how was that switch on and switch off with you and him? Because you seem to have had a nice relationship off screen.
Yeah. Well, before it, I knew him from my dad's rock and stuff. But once we started filming with him, we grew a nice relationship. He's a funny guy.
Yeah. I love the dancing scene as you're dancing out of the room with him.
Yeah, both of us didn't know how to waltz, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you did well. You did very
Okay,
well.
good.
And I asked her the same question. What is it? I mean, what was the Q&A like? What is it for you being here at this festival?
Well, Toby and I talk about art a lot, and that we love making art, and we're really bad at commerce. Art and commerce. I don't know whether they should go together, but they should and they shouldn't. It's a difficult issue, but one of the things that's happened here in the Sedona Film Festival is that you guys are celebrating our art. And suddenly, all those other questions about why are we doing this, or should we be more worried about commerce, or should we be working with trying to get Emma Stone to be Eddie?
Right.
The answer is no. We are here with these great people, and they're like, we're talking about our art. And suddenly it's validated, and what a relief. Now we walk away from here and we do more art, because you guys have said you should keep doing art, and that's such a, it's worth far more than money or being in. This is amazing. I can't express it enough, really.
Giving you some goosebumps over there?
Yeah, I got some goosebumps.
We like that.
Yeah,
we
zoom
want to
in.
give our filmmakers
There's a
some
couple down there.
goosebumps. Well, I'm going to see if anybody has questions. I have a few more. Elliot?
Your family just has a very uniquely refreshing outlook on life. So where did you get your drive to pursue filmmaking? Did you see a void that needed to be filled, and you thought you could stand in that gap? Or was there just a desire to perform from the whole band side of things and moving here?
I think you and I could answer this together.
You go first.
Me go first? Okay. We love art. And, you're always told when you're growing up, follow your dreams. But I'm not sure a lot of us follow our dreams. And it's hard to follow your dreams. And so Toby really had the biggest dream of, she was an actress that was making a living in soap operas, and then as she got older, you know, the calls stopped coming, and she was frustrated, and it was hard, and, you know, identity crisis and things like that, and it was kind of like, well, Toby, just, you know, you should just follow your art. You're smart, write a script. And so she did, and we realized it was kind of a great example to our kids that were growing up. I think Zelda was 7 or 8 at the time with our
I
first
was
movie.
6 and 7, yeah.
And they were watching Disney Channel, and they liked, who's the girl?
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez. I want to be like Selena Gomez. And it was like, well, Selena Gomez works like 20-hour days. I don't know that you do. No, we do. And so it was kind of like, well, you know what? Okay, it looks like we're all of our dreams are coming together at this moment. Let's try to make a movie. You guys can try to be Selena Gomez. I can try to be a director, and I loved, you know, filming. And Toby could be an actress and a writer, and a director, and, you know, turns out everything else. But so it was kind of just a great way for us as a family to put our money where our mouth was, literally, and say, let's all try to be artists and follow this dream. And interestingly enough, our older daughter, who wanted to be Selena Gomez too, after that first movie decided, I don't want to be Selena Gomez. It's not that fun. I don't like saying the same thing 20 times over. I think, what do you think about that?
I like it a lot. I also found out with our films that I also like being behind the camera. I think it's fun to direct people, be a little bossy sometimes. But also it's fun being in front of the camera, and thanks to our films, now I know that.
What was the budget?
For this one,
It was about 30,000.
So all in 30 grand
yeah,
ish.
something like that.
It's impressive.
Yeah, you know, it comes from, like, you know, like our hometown, like a place called Floyd and Bobo's. The actress who's the, you know, the woman boss who's always yelling at me. You know, it's people like that that make these things come true. You know, her and Louie, that's her husband. They own a bakery, and, you know, they support us. Film here, and you know what I mean? And you have all the time in the world. We're closed on Monday. Come on in and shoot. So, by being good friends with real people and real people supporting us, our disadvantage becomes our advantage. So we're not this big Hollywood unit that rolls in with 30 people and worries everybody. We're a unit that rolls in with 4.
Right. I love it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So do you have a website for the film?
Yes.
Tell
Our
us.
website is wonderwheelproductions.com, and you can see our other movies there, and you can, you know, talk with us there. We're also, what's our Instagram?
Okay, our Instagram is adams.family.films.
And do we have a Facebook?
Yeah. Wonder Wheel, I think.
On Facebook or something.
Wonder Wheel.
Wonder Wheel.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
And then if they Google Halfway to Zen, this information will pop up
Absolutely,
as well.
and because of the Sedona Film Festival, there'll be a lot of links, and yeah, you can find us, Adams Family Films and Wonder Wheel Productions.
And you have another film on the way, I hope.
Yes, we're working on actually a couple things. One we just basically have shot, and another one we're writing.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We look forward to having our alumni back again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.